The music just feels so good. You're on the number one. TripleThreatFMRadio.com.
You're listening to TripleThreatFMRadio.com and the Zeno Radio app. This is the Sunday Gospel Throwdown. I am DJ Echo, and right now I have Christian hip hop recording artist Jekasole in the building. What up, Jekka?
What's up with you, DJ Echo? How you doing today?
Listen, I'm doing good. I got you on the phone or you in person. We're on video right now. We're talking. I mean, it's a good day so far. It's a good
great
day.
It's very true. I was off today, so it's a great day.
There you go. See, you got some time to yourself. All right. So I mean, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's jump right into it, right? Just jump right in. All right, cool. So I know what your first name is because I went through your profiles and all that stuff. So, but Jekasole, how'd you come up with that? Jekasole.
So Jek is actually my nickname from like being a kid. So initially that's just a nickname that my family gave me growing up. And then the soul part kind of just was infused in there when I was in high school. Very big sneakerhead, which is why it's spelled SOLE. But as I got older and I looked up the more or less the meaning of soul spelled that way, it basically just means unique. So the way I looked at it was like there's a lot of girls that I've met that they had the same nickname, Jekka, but I was like, I know that there's only one version of me. So it kind of just fit, and I kept it.
I like that. Okay. All right. I like it. You use what you had, and then you kind of you got deep with it.
Mm-hmm.
You got really deep. All right. So, how long have you been singing and rapping? I'm not professionally, but like how long have you been singing and rapping?
Let's think about this. How long? I'm gonna say for about a good 6 years now.
Okay. Okay, 6 years. Because you're not like 40, you're not 35. You're a young one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all right, for 6 years, okay. Anybody else in your family sing, dance, rap, anything like that?
So funny thing is, my brother and my sister are both dancers, and at the same time, my brother is also a singer and a songwriter. And then I got a few other cousins that they do music as well. So it's,
The bug is in the family.
Yep.
Okay. I like that. All right. So, how did you get discovered?
So for the most part, basically kind of just putting myself out there. So whenever I saw like a challenge was going on through social media, more or less just kind of just putting myself out there. And then that's initially how people kind of just started gravitating towards me. And then kind of just like I said, just as far as like putting myself out there, I do these live prayers on my Instagram as well. So it's just like being able to do that and people kind of just connecting them together. So basically it.
Okay. Now, are you under a label? Or are you independent?
Independent, 100%.
100% independent. Proud of that too. I see that. You proud
100%. I'm proud of it just as much as I'm proud of my Puerto Rican blood.
There you go. Listen, I feel you. I feel you on that. All right, so let's get into because you guys, you sent me Separation Anxiety. You also sent me In Love. I listened to Separation Anxiety. It's a hot song, but I was like, all right, let me see if there's a video to it because I want to see where the visuals were for this. And I checked out the video on YouTube, and I mean, just the first like few minutes, not even before the even track starts, you already know what it's about. You already know the angle you're taking with it. So explain your mindset behind creating writing Separation Anxiety.
So initially, the actual idea from it, I was going through a lot. It was a very big transition in my life going on. I had just graduated college. I was moving from my hometown that I've been in for all my life and basically just starting off fresh in a place where I didn't know nobody. I didn't have the resources I had before. And it just felt like I was just being basically pulled out my comfort zone, and a lot of my friends and like loved ones weren't really happy about it. So it was just like in the midst of what the complication was in my life, it was like having other people's personal feelings made it even that much harder. Um, so basically, just writing that song was just how I felt in that moment, where it was just like, at the end of the day, it's no harm, no foul, like it's all love. But at the end of the day, it's like I got a bigger purpose I have to go ahead and fulfill, and it's my time to leave. But I still love you, and just
Right.
keep it moving.
Right. Now, how long have you been? Because we're gonna go. We'll go a little bit into like your testimony and your Christian walk, but um, how much of this was like, I don't know. Obviously, you wrote the song, so this is something that's personal to you. But like, how much did like those feelings kind of stir up again from what you were going through and all that kind of stuff in that Christian walk? Like, how important was it to get the words across for this song?
Well, at least for me, it was very much important. It was actually kind of intimidating just because of the way we
Mm,
brought in the intro of the video. Granted, I know everybody saw the alcohol, so I was just like, you feel me? Like, I'm just being very honest because at the end of
yeah.
the day, we're not perfect, and that's basically what I wanted to get across. Was just like I have a relationship with God, but at the end of the day, like I'm not perfect. I struggle, but I have a different way of how I deal with these insecurities, a different way where I deal with these overwhelming emotions that, a lot of my friends or just loved ones that if they're not in that same mentality, they really can't help me. And basically just trying to get that point across where it was like kind of just praying to God and asking like I hope they don't just look at it where it's like, oh my God, she has this, she's talking about this, that, and the third. It's like I want people to be able to hear like it's real emotion, it's a real battle, because at the end of the day it's like everybody looks at it as if you have that relationship with God, that your life is supposed to be perfect, that you're not supposed to mess up, that you're not supposed to have certain battles or be able to talk about them. And it's just like,
Right.
no, like this is how you get people to see who God really is, when you're able to share like, hey bro, I was just like you, or
Yeah.
I understand what you felt, because at one point I kind of felt this way, that, and the third. Because nowadays we live in a generation where a lot of people want to go ahead and see before they can believe,
Mm,
and that's just basically what I want to do. I put myself on display to let people
right.
see that God is real in my
Right.
life.
Right. Yeah. I like that because sometimes people they can hear what you say, but they want to hear how you live. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They want to see how you act. They want to see how you deal with situations, how you deal with other people, um, how transparent you are when it comes to what you used to be, your old life in Christ, or your old life and coming into Christ. And it's about shining that light. And a lot of people think it's all about what you say, and a lot of it is, people like to look from a distance because they
Yep.
want to keep that. They want to keep that separation, that that 6 feet or whatever,
Yeah.
just because they don't want to get too close, but they get to see it. And I think that's very very important what you're talking about. Let's go into your testimony now. I'm sure you do shows, and your testimony is a lot of when I used to do gospel music, that was important because that helped the crowd relate to me. That helped the people in the audience, the people on the streets, the people listening wherever they were. It helped them to understand that, like you said, I'm not perfect. I wasn't made perfect. You know what I'm saying? I
Yep.
have my faults, I have my failures, I have my the things that I still mess up on, but the love is always there. So let's go into a little bit of your testimony if you don't mind.
So I wasn't raised as a Christian. That's just off rip. Initially, like, both my parents kind of just, we only went to church when it was like Mother's Day, Easter, like, the holidays,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So that's initially when we would go. And then there was basically a 180 in my life where my mom was like, like I want to start going more. And I'll be honest, I didn't like it very much. We were in church 7 days a week, and I mean that 7 days a week. Um, if it wasn't a Hispanic church, it was a Haitian church. If it wasn't that. It was like going to double up services
Yeah,
on
yeah,
a day. Like, bro, I used to like, oh my God, I used to tell my mom, like, yo, I don't want to be here.
yeah.
But
Right,
it was when I got to college. It was what is it, my freshman year of college, where I just like, I felt lost. And I remember like putting it on Facebook, where I was just like, I don't know why, but I just feel so lost. And one of the girls from my church had reached out to me. She was like, hey, how you doing? This, that, and the third. But I was the type of person where it was just like, I had that taste in my mouth where I didn't feel like church people really cared about me. It was just more
right,
so like, I just want you to be here so you could fill up some space.
right,
But initially she invited me to come to a service. Came to a service. It was cool. And then I went to this youth conference in 2012. I went to this youth conference, and it was really what changed my life.
hmm,
I heard all these different young people just talking about like how God went ahead and moved and worked in their lives, and they went ahead and they brought like reflections, and they used like movies like The Lion King and other stuff to kind of just make it easy to understand.
right,
Um, so at least for me, I was like, this is pretty dope. I ended up going home with my brother that night, and we wrote our first song together, and it was probably the fastest song I ever wrote in my life. And I was like, yo, like, this is crazy. It's like, but it's all about God, and just basically just me talking about like how I want to change, but I don't know how to change.
right,
Um, this, that, and the third, and then eventually, like I said, I just kind of just got more invested, started going to Bible study more, just wanted to learn more about what it was that I was doing, not even just with music, just by like just being in church.
right,
And then eventually, like I got to a point where I asked God, I was like, what is it you want me to do? Because I'm good at writing both. I can write, music like this, and I can write music like that. What is it you want me to do? Because at the end of the day, like, I want to do what makes you happy, and whatever makes you happy is gonna make me happy.
yeah,
And the way I saw it was every time I would try to write a song, every full song that came about was something that I did for him. Um, and basically, just moving forward, it was just like I realized this is where I was really passionate, whether it was being able to perform or minister in front of like 5 people to 20 people, 30
right,
people. More or less what got intimidating is when I got older and I went to like high school, college, where you're in front of crowds that aren't Christian people, or
mm,
there's a mixture of different
yeah,
people, and it's just
yeah,
like asking God, like, hey God, like, I need you here with me because I could get booed off this stage right now.
right,
But just always keeping in the back of my mind that everything I do is for His glory alone. And as long as somebody was able to get something, um, that's basically what made me happy. And in college, it was actually probably really, really good for me. Actually, where things actually started really kicking off.
yeah,
I was a mentor in college, and a lot of the kids that I mentor were incoming freshmen, coming into college and stuff like that. And like my first thing that I always said was like we did a game together, and they would ask me like a fun fact, and I told them, I said, hey, I do music. They said, what kind of music you do? Said, I'm a rapper, this, that, and the third. I didn't tell them that it was Christian. I just said, I'm a rapper. Immediately, they were intrigued,
right, right, right,
and send them a link to my first project. And it was like a lot of them basically told me, like, I don't really believe in God, but it's just something about the lyrics that you say just makes me curious. And,
okay,
I think this is really, really dope what you're doing. Like, they still check on me now. And
yeah,
they ask me, like, hey, Jekka, like, how's everything going with the music? Like, they keep up with me. And I've had a few of my students where they were just like, you know, I'm grateful that I'm able to see somebody who walks the faith that they do and is not afraid to show it in front of people that, they don't know what they're going to say or how they're going to
right,
react.
hmm,
Um, so like just moving forward is just something that's very important, but at the same time, like I'm always asking God to just ordain and guide my steps, because it is easy to get caught up in yourself.
definitely, definitely. Now, you said students.
Hmm.
Are you a teacher, a youth pastor?
So I was a mentor for incoming students.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Right, all right. And then also that Facebook post where you said, I am lost. is that like still in your like Facebook history where you can go back to that and be like, wow, look where I've gone from this post to where I am now.
To be honest, I don't know. I probably look for it. Maybe I'm not
Right.
much of a Facebook user nowadays,
Gotcha. Yeah.
but I mean, for the most part, possibly. I know that I still look at when I got baptized. Like I have my certificate. I have a post
Right.
when we went ahead and got baptized, and I look at it and just see how far I've come along.
That's
Even with
awesome.
how
Yeah.
I first started writing music to how I write it now, it's been
Right.
very big transition.
Right. Do you consider yourself a rapper or a singer?
So I consider myself a little bit of both. If I'm being honest, I didn't really feel as confident about singing until I released my first project in 2017. And the only reason for that being was where I went to go record the project, the recording engineer was just like, hey, like, can we try something? How comfortable are you with singing? And I was like, what rapper really thinks about singing? This was
Right.
before the whole era came in where it's normal.
Yeah.
Um, but for the most part, we were like, let's try something. If we don't like it, we'll change it back. And for that first song, it was just a little bit of harmonizing there, here and there. And then I was like, I actually really, really like this. So for the most part, what I started doing was just practicing more where I can infuse them both together. Because at least for me, I'm the type of person that I like to listen to music that I can sing along to. Granted, I love the bars because like you go
Right.
back and like, hold on, say that one more time, play it back. Like, what did she just say?
Yeah.
But I also like to make music where people can sing along to it, and just like get a nice good vibe from it. So I consider myself a little bit of both. I have my mood where I can go full on, give you bars, and then there's the other
Right.
side of me where I'll just go ahead and give you melodic. But it really just
Gotcha.
depends on what I feel the beat is asking for.
Gotcha. Okay. And we're talking about your music. So, how can people? Let's go over how people can get a hold of your music, and then go into your social media. How can they follow you, subscribe, like, all that kind of stuff?
So my music is on all streaming platforms, so you can look it up on what is it, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Pandora, YouTube. I'm trying to think. Amazon Music. Which other ones do they have? Basically, any kind of streaming platform you can think of, it's there. You just
Mm-hmm.
gotta look up Jekasole, make sure that it's spelled together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then aside from if you want to go ahead and subscribe, you can literally just look it up the same way, just Jekasole on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe
Okay.
there. As far as with social media, very much active on Twitter and Instagram. So if you want to follow me, it's Jekasole. So
Okay.
Jekagotsole.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, and I want to tell people to go to iTunes and buy the track because we got support. You got to pay some bills. You know what I'm
That
saying?
too. That
Got
too.
to pay
That
some bills.
too.
So make sure to go to iTunes, go ahead and pay $1.29 whatever it is for the
Yeah.
song. But download the whole album, EPs, all that kind of stuff. How many projects you have up to this point?
So if I'm being honest, I put out that one project in 2017, and then after that, I kind of just went into a mode where I kind of just rebranded myself. If I'm being honest,
Okay.
basically just worked on a lot more features,
Okay.
just trying to get more comfortable with my sound. But as of right now, as of 20, what year are we in?
21.
2021. I'm
Yeah.
like, I was thinking, I was like, where are we? So as of right now, I got a few singles that came out basically from the ending of last year to the beginning of this year. And
Okay.
then there's more on the way, visuals, everything like that.
All right. Any shout outs you want to throw out there?
So for the most part,
Because
I want to
because
give it,
we
I want to
we
give,
we worldwide. We worldwide, son. We worldwide. So, any shout outs?
so I got to give a shout out to my dog, my manager, made music. That's my brother right there. I love him.
Okay.
Family, friends, basically just anybody in my community. You got Hilltop, basically it's a collective that I'm a part of. And basically we're just all South Florida artists that is really just trying to push and make some noise within the genre, and
Okay.
just just anybody just out there, whether you've been supporting from the beginning or you just heard of me today, like I appreciate you with all my heart.
All right. Okay. All right. Last question, and give me one piece of advice that, biblical or not, that you live by. Something that I mean is like you don't make decisions without thinking of that one thing, whether it came down from the Bible, a mentor of yours, a family member, a friend.
Hmm. It's a lot of things, but if I could pick one, I would say one of the things I always kind of just refrain back to is just staying focused, having that tunnel vision on what it is God has shown me. Because, like I said, it is easy to get lost up in yourself or lost in the sauce of what everybody's got going on. Um,
Right.
so just making sure that you're content with the season that you're in, and just always just making sure that, like I said, you're focused on what you got going on. Don't pay attention to what everybody else got going on because it's easy to discourage yourself. Just because you see somebody else has got whatever it is that they got going on, and you're just like, oh, I don't have that, so maybe I
Right.
just need to quit. But yeah, one piece of advice is just staying focused on what it is God is giving you the task at hand.
I mean, that's enough, right?
Yeah.
That's enough right there. So, all right. So, Jekka, thank you so much. For real, honestly, thank you and your brother Aaron for linking up and being on the show, Sunday Gospel Throwdown. We're going to play your track. I want you to introduce Separation Anxiety.
Okay.
And that's it. We'll end it like that. So, do your thing, girl. I know you can talk, so rock out. Go
All
ahead.
right. Well, to everybody who's listening right now, I want to introduce you guys to Separation Anxiety. I hope you enjoy the record.